What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Dead Funny Review Show. I'm your host, Chris. Joining me today are my co-host, Bree Bree, and my co-host, Dylan. How are we doing, guys?
Good, good, good.
Uh, Very good, yeah. Besides other things that happened today, but
In
in the
your life.
past.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my life.
Yesterday. It
Life
happened yesterday, but in the past.
So,
It's not on my mind at all.
since we're talking about, somewhat bad things, maybe somewhat good things, today's topic is streaming games. What is it for the future of gaming? Is it good? Is it bad? What's going to happen as far as the way we handle games now? What's going to happen to retailers who sell physical copies / sometimes digital copies? What are we looking at? So, let's go ahead and dive into this a little bit. Let's go ahead and let me first give you guys, because you weren't on last week's review show with me and Brandon where we talked about the Google Stadia. The Google Stadia, so far from what we know, and this isn't 100% confirmed, so I could be wrong about this, but so far from what we know, is that there is a good chance it could be a pay-to-play platform, which means it would be like Xbox Live where you pay a certain amount a month or a certain amount a year, and then you have access to their entire game library to just stream the games directly. Not download. Literally click on the game you're playing. There's no downloading like Xbox Game Pass where like you get the whole library, then you just click on the game, download the game, install the game, then play the game. You literally stream it right away. 100%. Boom, done. So that is the base of this conversation, and we'll just spring out from there. So, to start off, we'll go cons first, because I always like going cons first because it's kind of fun. One of my issues with this is that we already see in today's age how everybody wants to do this with movies and TV shows. Like, first it was just Netflix. Then it was Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, whoever the fuck else had shit. Now we're having Disney having their own, fucking Warner Brothers are going to have their own, ESPN's going to have their own, like Apple's getting their own, Android's getting their, like everybody is getting a streaming service. There's no way in fuck everybody's going to pay for all these streaming services. It's just not going to happen. Like, as of right now, I pay for fucking Netflix and Hulu, and that is enough for me. Like, I don't need anything on top of that. So, that to me, if it's already like that with TV shows and movies, there's no way it's not going to be like that with gaming, in my opinion. Xbox will have their own, Sony will have their own, Nintendo will have their own. So on top of this, on top of buying the consoles, on top of buying the accessories like controllers and shit and headsets to be able to play, and live, because we've already seen that with the Xbox Game Pass, that was not included within your live subscription. That was extra.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We'd have to pay for streaming as well. And I think they're going to be coming out there.
You're not even guaranteed every game.
Well, theirs is going to be coming out very soon. There's called the Xbox Cloud. It's going to be their streaming service. Or it's going to be a whole storage of video games in a cloud that whenever you pay access to enter the cloud, you get all these games that stream directly to you.
You have to download them
Nope.
from the cloud, though?
Nope.
That seems weird to me because I feel like it's already hard enough sometimes to connect to stuff. Think about how you're in the middle of playing a game that's not even multiplayer online, and all of a sudden you have connection issues happening with the game, not just your Xbox and the internet. It's like...
So that's something that we talked about on the last week's episode, me and Brandon, with the Stadia. So with the Stadia, they've already said that all the 100% the Stadia is going to be completely streaming. There's not going to be a download aspect to this game at all. Brandon brought up a really good point, which was, okay, so if we're going to stream, whenever it comes to talking about streaming on a console and playing, there's so many different levels that require different internet connections. So just to stream in like 1080p, we're talking like you had to have at least like 10 megabytes, 20 megabytes a second. To stream 4K, it gets higher. They're talking about being able to stream, and that's just to say streaming 4K. We're not even breaking into FPS at this moment. When we start breaking into FPS, we're talking like 13 frames a second, 16 frames per second, 60 frames per second, which is ultra high. Like, I'm 120 frames per second. They're already saying that they're working on making it to where you'll be able to stream games at 8K, 60 frames per second.
That would be a
God.
personal pet peeve for me, though, because like if I don't have internet, if I don't have the ability to get good internet at that moment, and I do have decent internet, I don't want to not be able to get on my Xbox and play a game that's not a multiplayer game.
Right.
Like,
Because that's what we're touching
Like-
on right now is the single players, for sure. And even whenever they go to talk about this whole 8K, 60 frames per second, me and Brandon both agreed. We're talking like you need to be living in a hut behind Google and plugged into their fucking headquarters in order to get this fucking 8K at 60 frames a second and it not look like hot ass. Like, there's no
Right.
fucking way that you're not going to be able to get that.
question you'd have to yourself is like, can I stream? If I can stream on Twitch or something, then I'm okay. So how are you going to stream a game and stream it
See,
in Twitch if
that
you're a
was something
streamer?
else. That was exactly something. Well, you could stream a game and stream on Twitch at the same time. Basically, so the
That's
way
like double upload and download happening,
well,
though,
that's
isn't it?
not upload. That's streaming has nothing to do with upload at all. Streaming games and streaming TV and all that, that's all your download speed. So if you have a lot of download speed, you'll be fine. Like people who have like 400, 700, some people who have gigabytes, they'll be fine. To an extent, depending on what they want their visuals and their graphics to be like. Because right now, the way our games work is that we might have some games that are streamed to us, but we still have to download them. The reason we have to download them is to help out those buffers, and it gives the overall connection a chance to predict what is going to happen and understand what's going to happen 6 frames later. Whenever you don't have that automatic download, it can't predict accurately, in my opinion, what's going to happen 6 frames later. So you might have drop screens, or you might have shit just freeze up because your shit doesn't know what the fuck's going on, or you might have drop pixels. There's no way they should be talking about 8K 60 frames a second right now. That just should not even be a conversation that's being had. I don't even think 4K at 30 frames a second is going to fucking look good. It'd be 4K, sure, because it's got the name on it. It's going to look like ass, but it'd be 4K. 4K ass. Like, I just, man, it's,
It reminds me of like Grubhub and DoorDash and all those other things where like you have all these different options, but they only have select amount of things. So like
right.
you want Chick-fil-A, you have to go to DoorDash, but if you want McDonald's, you gotta go to Grubhub. So I feel like that when they start doing these streaming services, you're gonna have to pick and choose if that's what you want to do. I can tell you absolutely right now, in my own personal opinion, I don't want to do a streaming service. I want to be able to play the games I want to play, not be limited because I'm paying this much at this streaming service, not be able to play other games, Xbox specific games. Like you have Xbox specific games and then streaming specific games, right? Isn't it going to kind of be like that, or is it just going to be
that's what
one
it
same
sounds
thing?
like. So I'll tell you, in my opinion, I know I say this all the time, and it's probably not actually true, but if anybody who can make any of the decisions watching this is the perfect way to do it. And I might sound a little full of myself on this, but I believe this is the perfect way to do it. Make one universal system. Kind of like with TV. You had a fucking one machine that you could access all the channels on. You make one universal system that everybody agrees on. Everybody's in the same room. Sony, Xbox, Nintendo, all. One universal machine. From there, you can choose who you want to stream games from. They all work on the same machine, but you could choose, do I want to stream Xbox? Do I want to stream Nintendo? Or do I want to stream Sony? That makes way more sense than me having to buy an Xbox and then buy a subscription and then also buy the streaming subscription. Then also, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I now have to buy a PlayStation. And now I have to buy a PlayStation.
Oh, I didn't know we were
and then I have
talking
to buy
about
a PlayStation
utopias or Chris's utopias.
I'm not necessarily talking about my utopia. This is right now. The Stadia itself is so much cloak and dagger at this moment that no one really understands what this system is. But it's releasing at the end of this year. It is happening. It is releasing 2019. This is not like 20 years in the making. Like this, they literally just started talking about it. I mean, everybody that said if they're serious about it, they'll show up at E3. They show up at E3. That's a solid, like, this is happening for sure. If Google shows up at E3, this is happening for sure. So, like I said, that to me is the way that it should be, because there's no way at this point, if we do these streaming games, like there's no way consumers who are your average, because you got to think about it this way, they want to make money. You're going to make way more money on your average consumer / somewhat casual consumer than you are on your hardcore consumers who have insane fucking money. Because people who have a lot of money probably really aren't playing video games all that often, unless they're literally getting paid to do that. So your other people who literally work their fucking dead-end jobs, come home, want to blow off Steam and fucking play some fucking video games, they're not going to be able to afford 3 consoles, 3 subscriptions, and 3 streaming subscriptions. It's not going to happen. At that point, you are physically forcing someone to buy a specific console and be brand loyal at that point. And I don't see that going good. So at that point, then what's the alternative? Go to Google? Because Google's going to have in-house games and third-party support, which means that you'll be able to play games from other companies. It depends on if they sign on or not.
Unless they're exclusive.
It depends. Ubisoft already signed on with it. You're going to be able to play every single Assassin's Creed on the Stadia.
Yeah, well, Assassin's Creed is dying, so.
I understand that. But Ubisoft in general still signed on. Ubisoft does a lot more than just Assassin's Creed. It's just the first name that came to mind. They get more and more developers. Like, they get Square Enix to sign on. I might get a fucking Stadia. I literally might get a Stadia. If that fucking happens, I'll be able to play every fucking Final Fantasy game on my Stadia. And the Stadia is just a controller, by the way. It just works with anything that's Google operated in your home. I can literally throw my controller onto my phone. I can throw my controller onto my computer. I can throw my controller onto my TV as long as it has Google Chromecast, which it does. Bam. That's it. I literally just walk
So basically,
in, turn it on, go.
they're competitors to Steam, to Xbox.
They're competitors to
Like,
everybody. It's literally everybody. Like that. Google literally.
But you can use it on your computer,
you can use it
right?
on anything that
On your
can
Xbox,
access.
though?
No, you can't use it on the Xbox.
You get to Google from Xbox, can't
You
you?
can get to Google from Xbox, but it has to have. I can't remember exactly what they called it, but basically, it's like it's different than just like having like a Google browser or something like that. It has to be like. Basically, whenever computers are made, like they have, like.
The question is,
I don't know.
why do you want to? Like, why do you want to choose Google over your computer that you already have Steam on and things purchased?
Well, see, that's the
and
thing,
have
though.
them purchased?
Google doesn't have a hat in this console wars race that we've known ever since we were kids, even though that it's starting to not
Oh,
turn into
yeah.
that anymore. They don't have a hat in this. Right now, they are like the fucking hot chick in the corner that all 3 of the fucking main guys are trying to hit on at this point. So Google will take anybody. That'll happen. Google is loose, all right? Google will take anybody, all right? Google will take Xbox, Google will take Sony, Google will take Nintendo. It's true. They will. Anybody that wants to sign this deal with them, they'll sign. But that's the thing,
Doesn't
though.
roll any
You
further.
won't be able to stream Xbox games on your Sony because Sony will never let that happen. You won't be able to stream Sony games on your Xbox because Xbox will never let that happen. But you will be able to stream Xbox games on your Stadia. You will be able to stream Sony games on your Stadia. You will be able to stream Nintendo games on your Stadia. And you will also be able to stream Google games on your Stadia. So if it works out like that, then by all means, the Stadia is the best place to go. And at that point,
It is.
Xbox loses money. Sony loses money. Nintendo loses money. Why? Because everybody's going to buy a fucking Stadia. No one's going to buy the next consoles. Because what's the point? You can get all you want in one spot.
I don't see it. I don't see people going to Zadia.
If I guarantee you, if they actually pull off a deal where they can stream all these third-party games, people will. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. If literally someone came to me today and said, Chris, you have a chance to buy the new Xbox before it releases or the Stadia. The only difference is that the Stadia, you will literally be able to play every Xbox game you want to with your friends. You'll be able to play every PC game you want to, as you do right now, with your friends. And you will also be able to play Sony games, aka Final Fantasy VII's Remake, with your friends.
Well, I
And-
feel like that
and
means
Zelda.
that they absolutely
Bam,
will
done.
not do that. Xbox, PlayStation, all of them will not sign it. Why would they sign an agreement with Zadia?
You see, you think that, but Xbox has just recently signed an agreement with Nintendo. And we never thought in 1,000 years Nintendo would
Wow.
fucking sign with anybody. And it's happening.
Nintendo's very picky.
Yeah,
Nintendo's
but they're
not even
picky.
picky. Nintendo just tells people to go fuck themselves. Like, they're not even picky. They just don't fucking care. They're Nintendo. Like, they don't give a fuck. We are family-friendly Nintendo. We do whatever the fuck we want to do. Like,
Yeah, but Nintendo's not going to take away their revenue. That's going to add to their revenue.
it's going to add to both revenues. How would it?
Right.
But
Zadia, it could impact their ability
but
to
hold on.
make money.
That being said, though, if I literally held the Nintendo Wii, or I'm sorry, the Nintendo Wii U, or whatever the fuck their newest one is, Nintendo Wii U, and the fucking Xbox One X in front of you, which one do you think you would choose?
Xbox.
Because you're brand loyal, right? You've grown up with an Xbox. You like the Xbox. You like the way it feels. You like the way it looks. You like the controllers. There you go. Boom. Nintendo is now losing any future potential system sales from you. And it's going to like that around the world. There are going to be people who are not going to buy both an Xbox and Nintendo because what's the point? What is the point? There's no point. You can literally get all the games on the same one. Now, I don't know the full extent to that. The entire contract has not been like put out to public knowledge yet. We just know the deal happened, and we know that Xbox is going to be distributing games. We don't know if that means that we'll be able to play like Legend of Zelda and Mario and shit on our Xbox. We have no idea yet. And same thing vice versa. Fucking Halo and shit on the Nintendo Wii U. We have no idea. It'd be fucking fantastic if I could play goddamn Halo on the fucking Switch. That'd be fucking nuts. So if that happens, once again, they're already losing that. At that point, it's not going to be so much. Honestly, it might even be better to let these console wars go to rest and just let Stadia be the new fucking system for everybody. And then they can focus all their time on exclusive games with their streaming service. Because, think about it. They get, let's say, for instance, the new Xbox comes out, $500. They got $500 from you, right? It's probably going to be another 5 to 6 years before they get another $500 from you, right?
Yeah.
But what if they're getting $15 from you every month?
They're getting Xbox Live.
I'm not talking about that, though. We're talking about consoles going away. Consoles go away. They're getting $15 from you a month. They're getting $15 from everybody a month versus people possibly buying their system every 5 years or every 10 years. I'm just saying.
That's a lot more money, Bree.
It's a lot more money. Because at that point, it's no longer going to be who has the best system, who has the titles that I want to stream to. If they're not focusing all these teams and all these technicians to make these fucking insane goddamn systems to keep up with whatever the fuck is new and next and coming out and spending all this money into that, they're making amazing fucking game title exclusives to their streams. That I would pay for. I would buy Stadia and I would buy all three of those. Every single one.
Pretty much an exclusive comes out, you get all hyped for it, and there won't be no more, oh, well, this did not turn out nothing like I wanted it to. Because
I mean, fuck having a Halo every 5 years. You get one every fucking other year.
Yeah.
You're acting like the same people that make the Xboxes are the same people that make games.
I get that they're different departments. My point is that one of those departments would become obsolete. And would
So people are out of jobs.
I mean,
you're rooting for people to lose their jobs.
I'm not rooting for people to lose their jobs. I'm just saying, at that point, learn to make games. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, it's business. It's business. I don't know what to tell you. Go
business until it impacts you people.
Go get hired on at fucking Google. I hear they're working on a new Stadia. There you go.
Google, I swear to God, I don't know how they've not gotten labeled as a monopoly. And Disney and Google, I feel like are in everything.
I don't know. Well, you feel like Google's in everything because it's a goddamn ad company.
Oh, they literally do. They try to get in every single thing. Like, They have their own self-driving car. They got into phones. They got into video games now. They're getting video games. There's something else they got into, and actually were told that they could not get into it because it would make them considered a monopoly. Can't remember what it was, though.
Yeah, I don't know. So, anyways, back to the streaming games aspect. So, there's some pros, there's some cons. Kind of like laid it out a little bit more for you guys than I was planning on. But that's kind of like what my idea of what's possibly going to come within the next 5-10 years of what we're going to see happen if the Stadia comes out full force the way they want it to. I don't think it will. I think there are a lot more problems with the Stadia than they feel there are. I feel like at this point, the Stadia is going to be I think the idea of the Stadia is good. I just don't think the Stadia is going to be able to get us to where they want the Stadia to go. That's where I think the big fuck up is going to be. So that's just my opinion. That's how I feel about it. But yeah. Any thoughts on any of that?
I gave my thoughts throughout, I feel.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't think this Stadia is a good idea.
Okay, Stadia is a good idea. What
I
about
don't
the
think it's a good
overall
idea.
essence of being able to just stream whatever games? Because think about it right now, Dylan. You are in a situation where you do not own a computer. So you can't play games on the computer with people like me or people like Bree because you don't own a computer. But now you have this. I have no idea how much it's going to cost, but let's just say it's fucking $120. Let's even say it's $200. Same price as a new console. Where you could get the Stadia controller, hook it up to your TV, and be able to play Xbox games like you normally do, and computer games.
That's
Yeah,
that's
but-
if he has
yeah,
a
but-
Google Smart TV.
Yeah, that's another $600-700 I gotta fork
He
out.
can also
just to
hook it
get
up to
that
his
TV.
phone.
I ain't playing no games on my phone.
You could do it.
I
That's the
hate
point.
playing games like that on my phone, like not Call of Duty, PUBG. I don't know how people play that on their fucking phone.
Well, they play it on their phone because they think they're good at the game.
There's an auto target. There's an
It's not
auto
even an
aim at
auto
the game.
target. Like literally, it's already been released that your game is literally full of nothing but bots. Like that's why you win. Every game you go into is basically like 85% bot, if that. It's probably even more. They for sure said that your first 10 games you play against, you won't lose unless you literally cannot play the game. It's mainly your first one. Your first one is the biggest one. Like literally, the bots can't even shoot straight or nothing. I literally had a guy run at me with an AK-47 just laying on the trigger, and he shot everywhere around me and did not touch me once. And I took him down from like fucking 10 yards away with a shotgun. Like literally, it is nothing but bots. Anyways, so back to the streaming aspect because we keep kind of jumping on the Stadia here, and I don't want to jump on the Stadia too much because that was last week's review show. You guys weren't there for that. We had some really good fucking things, but this kind of mixes in a little bit. So if it does, it does. I'm sorry if I reiterate some of this information you heard from last week, but once again, Bree and Dylan weren't there. Anyways, so where another big issue is how will this impact the economy with retailers as far as people who sell physical copies, your Walmarts, your Targets, your GameStops.
I think that they're dying anyways. I don't think that the streaming is changing anything immensely. I think that GameStop, Walmart, any physical stores are not within the next 10 years. I think that most things are being done online now. Delivery of food, even groceries being delivered, fucking movie store anymore. I mean, that's died out completely. People just stream movies, buy them online. Amazon stepped their foot up. They put their foot out the door when it comes to like what they do, and they also are like, what are they doing completely? They're like groceries now.
Well, they're not groceries.
So-
They just bought Whole Foods. So
Foods, but I mean, they're trying to be more well-rounded too, and be more accessible to your house. And they have like the lock system where they can drop stuff off inside your house. Like, I think that the world is very much changing into the shape of people do not want to leave their house. So within the next 10 years, I do not see very many
yeah.
being around.
Well, here's the tagline that just came out. This was on April 4th, so literally yesterday. GameStop announced their report earnings, and it came in that they have a loss of $673 million. That's a lot. That is a lot. $673 million. Now, it also is to be said, because it's part of the article, which I think is funny, their future is bright, says their CEO, obviously. But, so, those of you who go to GameStop can agree with me. I know this will definitely resonate a little bit more with Dylan than it probably will with Bree, because I know you've told me plenty of times that you didn't really do the whole GameStop aspect. So, I've seen GameStop go from being literally just a video game store to video game consoles and accessories to used video game consoles and accessories to video games, console, accessories, used everything, toys, to all that
Clothes.
and clothes, to all that and artwork to all that and fucking comics. Like, they even sell comics now. There's literally comic racks in fucking GameStop. To all that and board games to all that and digital game cards that you can buy the digital game itself in person and then take it home and redeem it, where you could just buy it online. Yeah, like it's fucking nuts. It's like
They
To me,
also,
that means they're adapting.
I don't.
Go ahead,
but
Dylan.
I don't feel like it's adapting anymore. Like
I feel like it's them just trying to keep up with everything because they're going out of business, and I mean they're just trying to, because a lot of people aren't buying games or consoles from them anymore because they're not going to say anything too bad. They're not a good company. Keep it mellow.
I don't think it's just that,
just
though.
trying to-
It's not about them being
They're
a
trying to just
good or bad
they're trying to
company.
just throw more out there for people to want to come in and like try to buy it or something.
I really think it stems down to people are inherently not lazy, but lazy in a sense. Like, it's not in a bad way. It's just people will always make the decision most of the time to do things that are
Well, for
easier,
people-
especially with how
people always
especially
make
with how
decisions to not get ripped off.
especially with how much more, it's not just GameStop though I'm talking about, especially with how much more time we're working, and then we want to play video games too, and then working out. I mean, I just feel like people value their time, and I don't know if it's any more than people did in the past, but our generation especially has value our time, and that means stuff like going to get groceries. That's could be considered a waste of time if you can just order it and have it delivered to you. Why not?
Man,
Food at a fast food place, well, just order it, get it delivered to you. Just download a game. Well, I don't care about that disc anymore. I'll just download the game. I think that simplicity tends to always win over having to go someplace.
Well, that might be for everyone else, but for me, I quit using GameStop because I got tired of getting ripped off.
But is your experience applicable to the whole population?
I mean, it's
Probably
a
not,
common.
'cause-
It's a common thing that GameStop rips you off whenever you buy games from them, for sure. Like with the return rate and policy and shit like that. So, no, 100%.
Also very well known
Someone's
that
buying a
any
brand- Not to mention, I bought a brand new game and it had a giant scratch on the back of it.
it's also very well known that it is harder for businesses that have physical locations to compete because of online business. You don't necessarily have a front of house expense. You don't have to pay rent. You don't have to pay employees to man the store. If you're online, you just maybe need a warehouse, shipping, and that's it. So you're automatically saving costs. So you do not have a highest price on your items as a store would have, because they have all these extra costs. So automatically, it's a very big disadvantage for physical stores.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's definitely weird. That's for sure. I don't know. In my opinion, where I was definitely going with the GameStop thing is, it feels like over the years, like I feel like I used to be able to go in GameStop and just kind of like chill, hang out, look at games, stuff like this. Midnight releases and shit were cool, stuff like that. I feel like the store is so littered with junk everywhere now. Like they're expanding what they sell, but they're not expanding their size.
Not very organized either. It
No,
looks
it's
really
not. That's what I'm
gross.
saying. Like, it's literally just shelves in the middle of the fucking floor that have shit all over it for you to fucking rummage through. It's not even fucking kept nice and neat. There's fucking clothes racks all over the fucking place now, in front of fucking games and shit. And you have to like fucking, it's like a goddamn maze. You have to weave your way around and shit in order to get to the fucking section you want to get to. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's like a really nice, when you start bringing in collectibles, you got to kind of think about who you're targeting, because a lot of people who like collectibles and do collectibles are not necessarily neat freaks, but they're a little obsessive about how things look, and it's the presentation, and it's the visual aspect to it. And I think that the name is Lunchbox. I feel like they do that
Box
very
Lunch.
well. Box Lunch, yeah. They do that very well. They have it organized in different sections, and it looks nice, and it makes you want to buy it. GameStop just kind of throws everything around, and I think that's a big disadvantage to them too, because it's not appealing to look at. So you don't know with where to find the games or where to find the collectibles, it gets really confusing. Not hugely confusing, but very confusing walking through there being like, I don't know what I want to buy. There's just too much stuff all everywhere.
In my personal opinion, at this point, GameStop to me is a place for me to go and buy possibly controllers or headsets because they have such a wide variety. I can go to Walmart, I can go to Target, but they're only going to have a short selection, and that's because they don't primarily focus on video games and video game accessories. And that's kind of where that is. But I don't know. That's kind of how I feel the streaming aspect is happening. That's kind of my hopes for the future. Like I said, my overall hope for the future, in order for this to be perfect in my mind, is literally one system, all streaming platforms to go to it. You can choose who you want to fucking sign up to stream to or not. Because I would do that. I would legit do that. I would fucking sign up to all three. There would be no point not to, in my opinion. If Google already has PlayStation or PC games and already has its own in-house Google games, then I already have Steam. I don't have to worry about it. And then I can just get Xbox. I mean, I feel like I have to get Nintendo because of Smash Bros. And Zeldas and shit like that. And then I would get fucking Sony for Final Fantasy. That'd be it. Boom. Good to go. Good to go. Well, those are my closing thoughts. Anybody else have any closing thoughts on just the overall streaming aspect? Okay, so I guess right now, with our current thought process, Google Stadia, good idea, bad idea?
I did think it was a bad idea at first, but just sitting here contemplating and thinking about, like, you know, just how much easier it would be just to be able to play any game I want on one little thing.
Well, it's not 100% like that, but for sure games
Yeah.
on the computer
I
and shit like that, yes.
I would say no, it's a bad idea. I don't think that they're going to get everything that they want, and it's not going to be you can play whatever you want on there. I think it will get very specific, and they won't get everyone. So I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's just another system that
I mean,
will have certain things to play, and I don't.
I think it's a good idea because mainly this is completely like biased towards me, but I already own an Xbox, so the games that I'm not able to get on the new hand console thingy, the Zadia, I could just play on my Xbox.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So I guess more of what I guess I'm looking for is the concept of the Stadia, not necessarily the Stadia itself. The concept of being able to literally be like, I'm watching my favorite streamer play a game because it just came out. Wow, that looks really good. I click play now. I'm playing the game. As streamlined as possible.
I think no, because I don't know how well the streaming aspect's gonna go. I mean, I feel like it's too much in the air. I don't want to be interrupted while I'm playing a game that's not downloaded. I feel like it's more chances for interruption if it's not downloaded to something.
Oh, and I forgot to finish my point that I was making earlier with what Brandon had said, because I went into half of it and finished the other half, is sitting there talking about the fact of these single-player games like we were. Brandon was like, imagine fucking trying to load into PUBG where there's 99 other players. Or a gigantic fucking MMO like World of Warcraft where there's fucking thousands of players. Like, how is that going to work with lag, conversation, and everything else? It's going to be crazy. It's going to be all over the place.
No, they're gonna have to tweak it and stuff. That's not something they can properly quit it. Like, it's not something they can properly like stand for until it happens, because it's hard to determine how, like you said, World of Warcraft, hundreds of thousands of players, because people play that all over the world. How it's gonna properly diverge from a $2,500 computer to a, just say, $500 little console thing.
Yeah.
And it's just something they're gonna have to deal with when it comes. And I firmly believe Google is more than capable of dealing with it in a very timely manner. So I don't think it's really going to be that big of a deal for very long. So.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I guess one last thing to touch on with the fucking Stadia, because you guys weren't here and I thought that this was pretty funny, was we were talking about the fact that it's no secret Google is a fucking ad-based company. That's how they make their money. That's how they got their revenue. and that there's no way in fuck you can tell me that they're gonna do this new system and not find some way to put ads into it, like the main thing they made their money off of. So I told it to Brandon. I was like, imagine like killing a boss in a game, and then after that, like a treasure chest drops, and you go to open the treasure chest, and like before it shows you what you got, an ad just pops up, and it's like, if you would like a chance to get a higher priced item, you could spend $5 right now and get an epic out of this chest versus getting da 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 da. I was like, that shit would fucking make me livid. And then Brandon was like, imagine it actually being like the mobile games, where it does the little advertisements at the bottom of the screen in like a banner the entire time, and sometimes it's not even shit that like calls out to you. I was like, that'd be so embarrassing, like having like friends or family coming over, and then like you're in the middle of a game, and then like you answer the door and you come back, and like there's just this gigantic like fucking porn fucking commercial going on with this dude's just railing this fucking chick, just this advertisement. It's like, you could sign up right now for $5 a month, and it's like, thanks Google, thanks. Oh, shit. I will say that if there are ads in video games, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. That literally would make me not want to get the Stadia. That I 100%, 100% would be like, nope, I'm passing, 100%. I hate interruptions sometimes, as far as even like fucking cinematics, judging on what game I'm playing. To have a goddamn ad pop up and be like, hey, by the way, I would lose my goddamn mind. Oh man, that would not be
That
good.
Zadia would be thrown out the window in a heartbeat.
So, I guess to kind of finish clearing this up. So, Bree, you said on the streaming. Dylan, where'd you sit?
I'm in the middle. I'm not sure.
In the middle. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Well, if that's where you guys sit on that, then the last thing I guess to bring up would be if this happened, or if this happens the way that we kind of talked about it a little bit. If this happens the way that it's kind of been played out for you guys tonight, from what I said with the whole one system, would that be the way you would want it to go, or do you feel like it's gonna be better if every single platform has its own streaming system?
I think it would probably be. I think there would be less fucking less assholes on the internet downing you about what console you play, because everyone would be playing the same one.
Oh, there definitely
But no,
still be some people that's like PC Master
Yeah.
Race.
Master
If the
Race
world was
PC.
perfect, if the world was perfect, I would love for a Zadia to be the thing. But I mean, people like computers, so I don't really, and mouses and keyboards. So I don't really know if I see people choosing a controller over a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, they'll learn to adapt and get used to it.
They're like cocky as fuck about it. They think they're superior with mouse and keyboard. So I don't see them going purposely to a system with a controller.
Yeah.
I think if it turns out exactly how you said it and it works, I think I would most likely get
Too
with
perfect
it
of a world.
Yeah,
I don't believe it will turn out that way.
Probably. We'll just have to wait and see. Well, then we're just going to go ahead and wrap it there. If you guys enjoyed this content, which I hope you did, make sure you like and subscribe. Also, turn on those notifications. That way you get notified every time we upload a new video. Hit us up in the comment section below and let us know your thoughts on the Stadia, your thoughts on the streaming, what you would want in the perfect world, or if you liked what my idea was, which you probably did because my idea was awesome. I'm just throwing that out there. But also, make sure that you hit us on the Twitter links for a more direct form of communication, and the Twitch links if you want to come hang out and watch us play video games. We stream. Yes, we do. Come hang out, have fun, have a good time. But at the end of this, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next time.